Okay, Tracy, tall marching orders, get this party started. So, good morning, everyone. It is really great to see you all here. Those of you joining in person, I'm so glad that you could make it here on a rainy Toronto morning. And for those of you joining virtually, thank you for tuning in to what is definitely going to be an insightful summit filled with discussions on the most relevant topics in the payment industry today. I am incredibly excited to be here at the Payments Canada Summit. It's my first one in person. I will never get tired of saying how great it is to be together with people in person again. Mastercard is an incredibly proud sponsor of such a remarkable gathering. And it's clear, if you look at the Payments Summit agenda, that how quickly our landscape is changing and evolving. You heard that from Tracy, and you're going to hear that from speakers throughout the rest of the next 2 days. So today, I would like to talk to you about the trends that we at Mastercard are seeing and how they're impacting the future of payments. What does the future of payments look like? What are the innovative trends that are reshaping the future of payments and commerce? And what are the changes that impact the next economy over the next 5 to 7 years? User expectations are changing, exciting new technologies are becoming increasingly available, and both of these are going to accelerate payments innovation. Our most recent Mastercard Signals report explores 9 leading trends or innovations and how they'll unfold over the next few years. These exponential changes taking place will have a significant impact on all industries, including Canada. And so I'd like to invite you to join me on a journey through these 3 trends that we see. And those 3 areas are reimagining money, intelligent experiences, and sustainable futures. So let's start with reimagining money. What does this mean? This means that our collective understanding of money is evolving and expanding to include non-traditional assets, things like cryptocurrencies, digital goods, which will change how we exchange value. So at Mastercard, when we look at how people are exchanging value now and in the future, we see the rise of tokenization, we see programmable payments, and we see ubiquitous wallets. So let's talk a little bit about each of one of those. Today, we pay for most goods and services using a fiat currency or accessing various forms of credit. But a lot of friction exists when exchanging value between the physical and the digital worlds, which is becoming increasingly common for all of us. Meanwhile, tokenized assets are becoming a more popular form of value, which will surely impact the future of payments. Tokens help reduce fraud, they enable greater authentication, and they drive user experience. An early sign of tokenization's overall potential is seen in the NFT market. More than 11 million NFTs exist today. And if you take that even further, the global tokenization market could reach $24 trillion in financial assets alone by 2027. Those are big numbers. And while tokenization is not new, extending this technology to cover more real-world use cases will transform how we think about that exchange of value and what we use to make payments. And the result of this could be a much broader set of payment options for consumers, for all of us at large. So now programmable payments. Businesses, we talked about consumers, let's switch to businesses. Businesses frequently cite challenges in managing complex payment systems. Current processors are slow, they're cumbersome, they're inefficient. So we recently started the rollout of Mastercard Track in Canada, our suite of B2B products that help reduce complexity and risk, cut costs, and automate processes for business. And we anticipate that APIs, smart contracts, artificial intelligence, and other solutions will converge to automate complex commercial payments. Using tools like logic and automation, new ways to program large enterprise payment flows will inject greater efficiencies into our economy. And this is already happening today. JP Morgan Chase and Siemens AG have been testing programmable payments since late 2021. And similarly, Singapore-based DBS ran a pilot in October of last year where purpose-bound money-based vouchers, similar to central bank digital currencies, were issued using tokenized dollars to pay merchants instantly. This is a great example of using smart contracts and blockchain technology to improve productivity through real-time payment settlement. Quite simply, programmable payments could evolve from niche use cases that we see today to become an industry standard. And doing so, they would reduce operational costs for industry participants and improve speed and service for all customers. Digital wallets. You heard Tracy talk about digital wallets and digital payments. So digital payments are becoming more and more common, and the rise of contactless has led to wider adoption by consumers all over the world. But next generation digital wallets, or super wallets, will move beyond single function apps and become more like command central, ubiquitous wallets that are like a remote control for our lives. These super wallets will manage our identity, assets, payments, and more. And while consumer demand for simplified and seamless journeys is evident, using wallets today is often a fragmented experience. So given the level of complexity and regulatory oversight, we don't think that any one wallet provider is likely to dominate. But despite this, analysts expect over 4.4 billion unique digital wallets to exist by 2025. That's more than half of our world's population. There are lots of entities pursuing a digital wallet that does it all. But the ones to succeed will be the ones that increase utility, create seamless experiences, and ensure security. That trifecta is really critical. The wallet of the future will have a significant impact on personalization and in-store experiences for consumers. Tomorrow's wallet will consolidate how we use cards, digital identity, house keys, office access, passwords, driver's licenses, and more. The second overall theme shaping the future of payments that we see is intelligent experiences. We see connected finances, borderless rails, and new ways of acceptance as trends that will define consumer experience and interaction, paving the way towards more personalization. We're already experiencing, each and every one of us, how our journeys as consumers are transforming when the digital and the physical worlds converge. So connected finances, powered by open banking and consumer control of data, means that we can access our assets in any environment, digital, physical, virtual, or some combination. So just as omni-channel retail has transformed how we shop, emerging technologies will expand the ways and the places that we pay in shops, arenas, train stations, online gaming, super apps, smart cities, metaverses. I can go on. You can think about just all of the places that you pay today. The promise of connected finance is just starting to unfold. But the market for providing financial services through other applications could double in value from $3.6 trillion in 2020 to $7.2 trillion by 2030. Players like Amazon, WeChat, Grab, and others have already integrated financial solutions for their consumers, merchants, or both. And as digital commerce expands, the ability to provide instant access to financial services at scale will enable consumers to bank and pay from anywhere and in any channel, going back to that notion of consumer choice. While globalization challenges are an ongoing presence in our world today, restrictions on the flow of payments currently exist across two types of borders, geographic and digital. Payments actually create opportunities to break through barriers that limit the exchange of goods, services, and data. The demand for faster and more convenient payment services is growing across both consumers and business. So a couple of stats to bring that to life. Cross-border payments across consumers are projected to grow by $2.9 billion by 2027. That is a 225% increase from 2020. And similarly, on the B2B side, cross-border payments are set to exceed $40 trillion by the end of 2024. Again, big pools of payments that need digitization and new technologies to make them safer and more efficient. Finally, in this category, checkout at the point of sale has improved dramatically in recent years. It's on a transformative path driven by new technologies and payment options. But there are still lingering pain points for merchants that need to be addressed. They still need help with certification, they often require digital devices, and they can struggle with integration. So to solve these challenges, merchants, telecoms, and tech companies are working to unleash acceptance by leveraging new technologies that can securely extend payment options. A great example of driving solutions via multi-stakeholder biometrics is Smile and Pay, a biometric checkout feature that Mastercard launched in São Paulo, Brazil, last year in 2022 with partners Payface and Saint Marché. Smile and Pay allows consumers to avoid the hassle of getting to the checkout, juggling wallets, phones, goods that they want to purchase. It effectively unleashes payments acceptance meaningfully and seamlessly. And we believe that in the next few years, we can expect a proliferation of acceptance options and new interaction points to permeate the consumer experience. So the third and the last theme that I want to cover today that will have a significant impact on the future of payments is societal and environmental changes. This is what we call sustainable futures. Essentially, this means that ESG strategies are going to come out of the boardroom and into product design, from ideas into execution. And how does this come to life? New marketplaces and services are emerging to provide credit to the underbanked and bolster underfinanced communities globally, resulting in inclusive credit. The World Economic Forum just introduced an alternative credit scoring model for underbanked people and merchants. So if we can create greater and more inclusive access to credit in the near term, we can transform the lives of those who have been historically excluded and underrepresented in the traditional financial markets. In turn, this will power economic growth globally. Banks, fintechs, and other digital players that provide equitable and inclusive credit will benefit from additional growth in this space. The global micro-lending market is expected to grow by $350 billion at a CAGR of nearly 14%. Again, lots of opportunity for all. Consumers, though, are increasingly rewarding companies that tangibly support their social, economic, and environmental objectives, leading to this notion of conscious consumerism. A growing cohort of consumers indicates that they prefer to buy from companies that align with their values across a spectrum of ESG issues. No surprise, this global trend is driven by Gen Z and millennials. 76% of these consumers think that companies need to actively and transparently implement, measure, adapt their ESG practices to achieve or maintain credibility, particularly as consumer awareness and distaste for corporate greenwashing becomes more and more common. So what this means for all of us is that banks and merchants and other players in the ecosystem who align with consumer values will outperform those that don't evolve with this conscious consumer. And as a result, we expect accelerating momentum in a purpose-driven payment flows as consumers favor businesses that realize ESG or net zero goals. And finally, as the occurrence and the impact of fraud and identity theft increases with more digital interaction points, trust will become a critical point of differentiation for companies. Embedded trust signifies a future where companies differentiate their trust credentials through accelerated adoption. Those who win and maintain consumer trust will capture a more significant share of payment flows. And we know that the cost of cybercrime is going to surge from $8.4 trillion in 2022 to $24 trillion by 2027. So that means the essential privacy protection that we know today is becoming table stakes. In the coming years, companies must work harder to earn and maintain trust with consumers and regulators. So in short, we need to ask ourselves as consumers and as businesses, how can we prepare for the future of payments and the next economy? Definition and use of money, the consumer journey, cause-driven consumerism. The common denominator in these trends is the consumer and business owners. What is going to make their lives easier while prioritizing trust and safety? That is what's at the heart of the future of payments and the transformation of the payments industry. At Mastercard, it is clear to us, as it is to many of you, that the physical and digital worlds will converge in a way that will define the next decade. And as a global technology company in the payment space, we want to foster those conversations in Canada's tech and payment ecosystems. I'd like to thank Payments Canada, Tracy and the team, for the opportunity to join you today, and invite all of you in the room and online to add your voice to the conversation around the future of payments over the next 2.5 days at the summit. We are really excited about the next era in payments, and I hope you are too. Thank you very much.